Everything you know about ninja is wrong. The black suit, the throwing stars, the sword, the poison, all of it. And the craziest part, most of it was invented within the last 70 years. Let's start with the legend of ninja tools. The throwing star, the shuriken. This is the most iconic ninja weapon on Earth. You've seen it in Naruto, in video games, in every piece of ninja media ever made. We have seen assassins hurling star-shaped blades from the shadows, pure cool and aesthetic, but it's completely fake. Scholars from the International Ninja Research Center, yes, that actually exists, and I didn't make it myself just now. They came out recently and confirmed there is zero historical evidence that shinobi ever used shuriken. None. The real predecessors were steel darts and needles from the 1600s. Small, unremarkable, never star-shaped, and never specifically ninja-associated. So where did the star shape come from? A 1957 post-war Japanese television show. That's it. The most iconic ninja weapon in history is younger than color TV. The thing Naruto throws in every other episode was invented for a kid's program. Let that land. Next we have the ninja sword, the ninjato. Every store that sells ninja gear sells this. Straight blade, square hilt, supposedly used for climbing walls. Well, it's completely made up. There is zero historical evidence of this sword existing before the 20th century. We can trace its entire life story. It first appears in a 1956 tourism booklet. By 1964, it's a movie prop. By 1973, Black Belt magazine is running ads selling mass-produced versions to Americans. By 1981, Enter the Ninja came out, and suddenly it's a historical weapon. The whole thing went from pamphlet to cultural fact in about 25 years. The ninja sword was manufactured and not forged in some mystic mountain. Its main objective, and it's designed for tourism, not for combat. Next we have the kunai. In Naruto, it's a throwing knife, a combat dagger. The weapon Naruto catches with one finger while looking deeply menacing, extremely cool. In reality, it looked more like a spatula. Historical sources describe it as a scraper, something you'd use to break through plaster walls during infiltration. There is no suggestion in any historical text that you were supposed to use it as a weapon. It wasn't a farm trowel either, that's also a myth. It was a construction tool, a plaster scraper. Every Naruto scene with a kunai at someone's throat hits differently when you imagine it's just a paint scraper. Now we got iconic, the black suit. This one hurts the most because it's the most visual part of the whole myth. The black hood, the black mask, the all-black everything. Children of the night, creatures of shadow. Well, we can trace the black outfit directly to Kabuki theater stagehands. Either they wore all black to disappear from the audience's attention, or playwrights dressed them in black to represent shadowy assassins on stage, like how old Hollywood used a mustache-twirling villain to signal evil. There's a 19th century woodblock print showing black-clad figures. Those figures represent anyone concealing their identity in general, brothel visitors, criminals, ordinary people avoiding recognition. Not shinobi specifically. The first confirmed link between a ninjutsu practitioner and all-black clothing is 1909. A newspaper reporter, not a ninja manual. Think about it logically. A real assassin would wear whatever blends in. All black works at 3 a.m. in a forest. It makes you a moving silhouette, and basically you stick out as a sore thumb in broad daylight when you go in crowds or when you are inside buildings. You know, every location where assassinations actually happen. The most famous ninja trait is tactically idiotic when you think about it for more than 5 seconds. Next ninja myth, we got the Ninja Bible. I mean the secret scrolls. Naruto's scrolls contain hidden seals, forbidden jutsu, secret techniques passed down through generations. This one actually has a real historical anchor. There were ninja manuals. The Bansen Shukai, compiled in 1676, is considered the closest thing to a genuine ninja document. Here's what it contains: espionage advice, how to gag a prisoner, some basic astronomy, pharmaceutical knowledge, and a recipe for tofu, specifically labeled the Grandmaster's Ninja Tofu. Scholars have checked it, it's just a tofu recipe, standard, which you can find in any Asian cookbook. The ninja manual reads like a CIA agent's field handbook where Chapter 4 is about parking and Chapter 9 is a lunch order. The secrets aren't secret. They're mostly just old and ordinary. The next secret tool we got is the poison. In film, a ninja drips poison down a thread into the sleeping mouth of their target. This specific technique has appeared in James Bond, Speed Racer, and across Japanese anime. It feels ancient. It has the weight of a real dark art. It comes from a 1962 ninja movie. That's the first confirmed appearance of this technique anywhere. There is no historical basis for it whatsoever. The Koka province did have genuine pharmaceutical knowledge. Poisons were part of regional expertise. But dripping venom down a thread into someone's mouth while they sleep? Pure cinema. Invented for a film and copied everywhere else for 60 years. Next, let's move to ninjutsu, the martial art. There is no evidence of ninjutsu as a unified martial art existing before roughly the 1960s. The word itself meant different things at different points in Japanese history: military strategy, espionage, and sometimes literal sorcery. No single consistent discipline. In the early UFC, a fighter named Scott Morris showed up in traditional ninjutsu garb representing the art. Where did he learn it? From a school in Omaha, Nebraska. He submitted his opponent in the first round. If that counts as ninjutsu, the definition has lost all meaning. Ask 10 ninjutsu schools when the art began. You'll get answers ranging from 4,000 years ago in Tibet to a few decades ago in someone's backyard. Nobody agrees because there's nothing concrete to agree on. It's a myth that keeps being turned into a martial art, not a martial art that got mythologized. The next technique we got is walking on water. The image is perfect. A ninja gliding silently across a moonlit lake, standing on small wooden floats, moving without a sound. And unlike most of these myths, this one actually appears in the Bansen Shukai, the ninja Bible, with an illustration and everything. Here's the problem: it doesn't work. Physics doesn't care about your ninja credentials. Modern researchers have reconstructed and tested the Mizukumo. Every single attempt ends the same way. The ninja gets wet. The human body is simply too heavy. The floats don't distribute enough weight. You sink immediately. The leading theory is it was actually a shallow water tool, something to move through swamps and rice paddies without sinking into mud. A primitive snowshoe for boggy terrain. Useful, completely unglamorous. Someone read the manual, saw the illustration, and the rest is cinema. Now let's move to my favorite ninja myth, the hand seals. The jutsu system in Naruto has a specific visual grammar. THD hand signs woven together to summon power. This one surprised me most. Those hand signs trace back to Madras, ritual hand positions from esoteric Buddhist traditions rooted in Indian Hinduism. They traveled from India into China through Buddhism and eventually into Japanese religious practice. Kishimoto didn't invent them out of nowhere. He pulled from a real spiritual tradition that predates Japan itself. The magic system of Naruto is essentially Hindu ritual filtered through centuries of Buddhist adaptation. Not what anyone expected. And moving to the most common myth, ninja were not assassins. Yep, you heard that correctly. This is the biggest myth of all. The whole premise, the shadow killer, the silent death dealer, is almost completely fictional. Historical sources consistently describe shinobi as spies and saboteurs, intelligence gatherers, infiltrators, not assassins. In 1588, a shinobi commander named Tadyoka Dashin took 48 men, faked the enemy's patrol uniforms, made paper lanterns with the enemy's own family crest, and walked through the front gates of a castle without a fight. Then they burned it down from the inside. No throwing stars, no black pajamas, no fireball jutsu. Just deception, patience, and good costumes. And one of the greatest myths about ninjas, the word ninja didn't exist. The actual word ninja didn't appear in a Japanese English dictionary until 1974. The historical term was shinobi. Ninja is a 20th century Western coinage. Think about what that means. Centuries of feudal Japan passed without anyone using this word. The warriors existed. The tactics existed, but the label that the entire world now associates with them was invented recently, exported west, and then re-imported back into Japan through pop culture. But the most interesting fact in all of them is that one man built all of this. Most of the visual myth, the black outfit, the custom weapons, the ranking systems, the whole aesthetic, was built by one person. A man named Okyus Hashikiro after World War II, when Japan was rebuilding its identity and looking for cultural pride. In 1956, he published a 26-page tourism booklet on ninjutsu. It contained the first photographs of someone in an all-black ninja outfit, first depictions of custom weapons, a theme park brochure for a theme park that didn't exist yet. He erected monuments to local shinobi heroes. He invented a hierarchical ranking system. None of it was historically grounded. Then he was consulted on the 1962 film Shinobi no Mano, a massive hit that spawned 7 sequels in 4 years. That film went international. Western journalists with poor translation and no Japanese language skills wrote down the mythology as fact. The West stripped out the cultural context, kept the aesthetic, and gave the world Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One man, one pamphlet, one film, 60 years of global myth. So what actually existed? Shinobi were real. The job was real. They were covert operatives, intelligence gatherers, saboteurs who worked during Japan's warring era and became irrelevant once peace arrived. Their tactical framework was largely borrowed from Sun Tzu's Art of War espionage strategy imported from China. Their manuals were field documents, not grimoires. Their techniques were deception, infiltration, and information. Unglamorous, effective. The ninja is a fictional construct loosely based on a real profession. The stealthiest thing about the ninja myth is how it faked an entire legacy without anyone checking the facts for 60 years. And yet somehow they're still cool. The truth doesn't change that.